I am a policeman. I am a policeman.
When I was young, the world was ending, and this is the nightmare I had then. You have seen this footage. Everyone has by now. Keep it in your eye while I tell you what follows. Because my nightmare and the centuries were the same dream, dreamt at the same hour. In my nightmare, every soul in London was a rat. I do not defend it. Dreams cast themselves. It began in Saffron Park, a suburb so red at sunset it looked painted. I was Gabriel Syme, the pale one, there, with the sword stick, a poet with one unfashionable conviction, that order is the wildest and rarest thing in the world. The red scarf is Lucian Gregory, a poet of the other persuasion, an anarchist, the genuine article, though it would take me the whole nightmare to learn how rare the genuine article was. Understand what an anarchist was. In 1908, a gentleman who had decided the world was a mistake and that the kindest correction was dynamite. It was a philosophy for parlors. None of them had ever seen a war. Nobody had, yet. Gregory, stung by my mockery, showed me the real thing, an arsenal under a public house, and we swore each other to secrecy going down the stairs. Mine was the better bargain, for I had lately become something nobody in that cellar could imagine. There was, in those days, a corps of policemen who were also philosophers, recruited to fight, not crime, but ideas. The man who hired me I never saw. A voice in a dark room behind a lamp. Remember the dark room. Remember how very large he seemed. That night the cellar was electing its delegate to the Central Council of Anarchy. 7, known only as the days of the week, and the vacant chair was Thursday. Gregory wanted it, and I, improvising for my life, outpromised him. Colder, purer, more terrible than anything he dared. So they gave me the uniform of the end of the world, the black cloak and the wide black hat, the same as every other, and elected me Thursday on the spot. My badge went into the breast pocket, over the heart. Remember the badge. I did not know yet what I had promised. I would find out within the week. They did not hide, these 7. The Council of the End of the World took breakfast in the open air over the busiest square in London, because nobody on earth suspects what is entirely visible. Monday, the secretary, half of whose smile was beautiful and half of which was not. Tuesday, whose rags were somehow too ragged. Wednesday, polished to a shine no honest creature carries. Friday, dying, one felt, since before I was born. Saturday, whose black spectacles nobody could look at. And Sunday, I will fail to describe Sunday. He was a rat, like all of us. That was the unbearable part. There was simply more of him than of everything else in London. And worse than his face, God forgive me, was his back.
Before we discuss dynamite, put that gentleman
The business
out.
of the morning was
He
a
is
bomb,
spy.
a czar and a president, in Paris in 3 days. For 4 seconds I ceased to have a heartbeat. 6 pairs of eyes with knives in them. I remember choosing, quite calmly, which of them I would kill first. Under the patched coat, a brass star. Tuesday, ragged, roaring, theatrical Tuesday, was a policeman. One of my own corps, though neither of us
That
had known
morning
the
I
other.
learned there were two kinds of
The first
terror.
of the 7.
The terror of being
Hold on to
caught,
that arithmetic.
and the terror of being
It is
the
the
only
whole
one
of the
left who
nightmare.
could be.
Then
Thursday
Sunday
carries
did a
it to
thing I
Paris.
still dream about. He gave the bomb to me. Refuse it, and I was dead on a balcony. Carry it, and Paris would do the dying. And then he winked at me. Remember the dark room, I said. I did not. Not yet. The professor found me the next evening. Now understand what you are seeing. The creature could barely walk. And whichever way I ran, through rain, over fences, aboard moving omnibuses, he was always, patiently, already there.
I am not a man. I am a corpse. I have been dying a very long time, and it is hard to run when you are dead. Don't run again. Please. I am a
And then
policeman.
the oldest rat in London straightened up like a young one and opened his coat on a brass star. An actor, hired by somebody to play a corpse, and the second policeman on the Council of Anarchy. 2 of 7. Dr. Bull we cornered at dawn, and Dr. Bull was worse than any horror, because Dr. Bull was reasonable.
I am a policeman.
3 of 7. The Council of the End of the World was quietly assembling itself into a police station. The Marquis I fought at dawn outside Calais. He was the bomb's escort, and the road to Paris ran through him. He fenced like a creature guarding a secret rather than a heart. For exactly 1 second of my life, I was a murderer. Then the wound was not a wound. The blade had opened his cloak, and the crimson lining, and under the lining, a brass
put it
star.
down. I am a policeman.
Inspector Ratcliffe of my own division. 4 of 7. And in Paris, you will have noticed, there was no longer anybody left to keep the appointment.
You swore, I swore, but I never swore to keep it past tonight.
Gregory, the last anarchist alive, and the one creature in the world I had truly wronged. He kept my secret even so. I never fully learned why. But from that night, he walked somewhere behind me, like a fuse in search of its charge. And then the world turned. The secretary raised the continent itself against us, and we fled from the whole earth, and the whole earth came. overtook me at the tide line, and the surf tore the cloak open, badged to the moonlight, in front of the whole black masked world.
You mistake us. This army was raised to arrest the anarchists. That is to say, you. I am a policeman.
5 of 7. Say it plainly, as I finally said it to myself on that beach. The army hunting the anarchists was the police, and the anarchists it hunted were also the police.
I am a
And
policeman.
every one of us had been alone and afraid and faithful the entire time.
I am a
7
policeman.
days,
I
5
am a
stars.
policeman.
I made 6.
I am a policeman.
Somebody finally opened the bomb. There was no bomb. There never was. There was a music box, playing the tune you have heard since the first frame of this picture. His tune. It was always his tune. Which left one question. He ran, of course. Ran like weather. Like a bank holiday. Like the end of an argument. Cab, fire engine, rooftops, balloon, and to each of us, a note, addressed by name, in enormous handwriting. Postscript. I am also the man in the dark room. He had hired every one of us, built the anarchists to justify the police, and the police to dignify the anarchists. Both sides of the board, the whole century long. And the century, you remember, was dreaming the same dream. This was the game we played in 1908. You have seen what the game became when the children grew up. I cannot tell you where the garden was. I have been looking for it ever since. We were robed, I cannot tell you by whom, as the 7 days of creation, and set on thrones, and Sunday sat above us as the 7th day, the day of rest, the peace of God. That is what we had been hunting across the whole of Europe, the peace of God. I have met men since who ran whole nations on his principle. None of them ever looked so much like the weather. And then came the accuser, the one honest anarchist in the world,
You sit
with the
here
one
in your
honest
order,
question in
you
this whole
police of the
story.
universe, safe, satisfied, smiling. You have ruled, you have judged, you have never paid for any of it. Answer me one thing. Have you ever suffered?
Can ye drink of the cup that I drink of?
I never learned whether it happened. But I walked home at dawn, and the lilac was in bloom, and I was not afraid of anything in the world. That, I think, is what a nightmare is for.